Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Black Girl Can't Cook. I have my beautiful friend Jenice joining me today. Jenice, how are you?
I'm good. I'm on break right now from work, so I'm just living my best life.
Living your best life. Where are you right now?
Right now, I'm home in New
Oh,
York.
New York, New York, New York. How has like everything been as like the new year? What's your overall energy? How are you feeling?
I mean, I have a lot of mixed emotions. I had to separate myself from my family and my daughter Maverick because of the pandemic. I had to go back to work,
Mhm.
and going back to work, I would have had to, if I brought her with me, I would have had to put her in daycare, and that kind of scared me. So my family's in isolation in Florida.
Thank
So
God.
that's where she is with my
Mhm.
parents and my sister. So I'm here like by myself. My dad is visiting now, but generally I'm
Oh.
by myself. So I mean, it's been a positive experience despite not everything being great because I've gotten
Mhm.
to learn a lot about myself because I've been here since December. I've
Wow.
learned a lot about myself. Like there's never been a moment where it's been just
Just
me,
you.
so it's just like
Mhm.
I've learned so much about myself and I feel like I've grown so much, like from being like being a student, being pregnant, then
Absolutely.
graduating, becoming a mom, and then now I'm like it's by myself.
Yeah. And do you feel like a sense of you just like know yourself kind of better, like a deeper sense of self?
Yes, it was like when I became a mom, it was like, oh, this is the part that was missing. Like
Mhm.
I felt like I was completed. I was like, this is the part of my personality that I would have never known without
With
without Maverick.
yeah.
I grew like just like that. It was like, oh, okay, this is I and I knew who I was fully, but now it's like just being with me, it's like, oh, there's there's mom Janice and then there's
Yes.
Janice.
Janice,
Like
Janice.
and it's like, oh, this is who I am also.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's so beautiful. And probably like a feeling of wholeness because those are both of you inside yourself. And it's just probably a complete picture like of having those two selves and your one self, you
yes,
know?
it's like very, very yin and yang. It's like
The duality, isn't that not crazy that's inside of us all?
you would have like I don't think I've ever would have known this part of myself had it not been like for the circumstance of the pandemic.
Ab Absolutely, and, like, we know as Black women, 2020 was, like, a devastating year, but there was so much joy and so much knowledge to gain. Did you gain some, like, knowledge, a sense of self, a sense of
Yes,
purpose, maybe?
definitely. It's like I feel like now I know like kind of what I want to do with my life.
Mhm,
I've always been kind of like I want to say scattered, but I have so many different like ideas and interests. It's like
mhm. I
sometimes
can
it's
so
hard.
relate to you, I can so relate to you,
Sometimes, like,
absolutely.
it can be hard to pick something and like continue to go with it. So
Mhm.
like now that I'm like, okay, I these are the things I know I want to do and I can work towards them. Even though it's like going back to school, writing a book,
Mhm.
oh, maybe a podcast. It's like, okay, I at least know the path I want to take and I can
Exactly.
going forward with them.
And
And
two, it sounds like you know what brings you joy. And I think for me, that was I'm so ADHD and we're both Scorpios. I was like that too. Well, I like photography, but no, I like music, but then I like cinematography. And then I couldn't find it was just everything until I was really able to like what brings me joy and what am I gonna love to do every day? Then it was kind of easier to see, okay, maybe these three things are one and two.
I had to ask myself the same thing, like, what actually brings me joy? What do I and then it was like, what am I actually willing to sacrifice for?
Mhm.
Like, am I gonna sacrifice my like long hours and time to do this? No, but definitely for this,
For
I
this.
you know what? I wouldn't sleep for this. So it's like, okay, you
Yeah.
kind of start to realize what you really like.
Exactly, and I feel like too, like, as a wo I feel like we're not given time, like, the pandemic, the whole isn't it crazy? The whole world had to stop, and we were all given time, and just being in our 20s and being in New York, there's such, like, a rush, and I really felt, like, stuck probably the last 2 years of just, like, not really knowing, still kind of exploring, but it takes time, I think, to, like, what brings you joy? What are you passionate about? What can you do as a job? But this is not a job. This is like what I love to do, you know?
You want a career. And I feel like also it's like we're both like in that 25 plus. So it's like
Mm.
that quarter life crisis. And it's like, oh, so now you really had to be introspective because you weren't going out, you weren't doing nothing, you know?
Nothing. You had none of the tools. Nope. Not.
You had to sit and think, you know? So it's like, oh, okay, like it's like I really I really love to do this. Like I
Yeah.
really like and
And reflect. Did you reflect a lot? Like have a lot of deep reflection? Oh my God, Janice. Like just,
I don't think without this pandemic, like so like right before the pandemic,
mhm,
I was dating my baby father, right? I was really
mhm.
trying to give it a go and see like, can
Can
this
this
work?
happen? Yeah.
Even though that was probably just not the right choice. But but like so right before the pandemic, like I broke up with him and then I was like, this is for the best, like my happiness, my
Mhm.
happiness is gonna make Maverick happy, And then it was the pandemic, and then it was like that. And at first, I was like so sad. Like, what did I do? What did I do? And I was like, wait, no, I was right. My happiness is
Yeah.
going to make Maverick happy. And I was like, it. I was like, there's no point in being in a miserable relationship because what is that going to show her? Like, break the cycle. I was like, it's okay to be a single parent. Like, you're not always going to be single. And I was like, she's a kid. Like, so
Literally.
I was like, I can meet somebody like well in the pandemic. I was like, well, maybe not this year, but I can meet
But
somebody next year or in 2 years, and she'll be 3 or 4, and she'll have a parent. Like, and I was like, and she'll still have me. I was like, she'll have parents like her whole life.
exactly. And the community you build. And like two things I want to touch on. Personally, I love that you gave yourself the option. You gave it a go. Like, who are we as women to like limit ourselves? We all have exes. We've all been there. And you are a mother. Of course, why not? So I'm so happy you were able to give yourself that. And then in conclusion, you came to, oh, actually, my happiness lies with my daughter. And her life is so long. Your life is so long and bountiful. Like that'll come. And you were just able to get the clarity.
And it's like I think also that the pandemic showed me like I was like so like a big part of me, right? Because my parents are older, especially
Mhm.
my father, he's 66 now. So I was like, I need to find someone to get married because what if he passes
What
away before I get married? And I was like, hold up. I was like, I'm one of those like annoying people that are like, I don't even like that men giving
like
away, like fathers giving away daughters. I'm like, I didn't even
right,
want to be walked down the aisle.
same.
I was pushing myself. I was giving myself a time limit that you know what, even if I was dating someone now, I might have missed. Like I was like,
Exactly.
what am I doing? I was driving myself insane. I was like, you have to let that go. I was like, and I was like, Brianna, I don't even want like a
I
old fashioned, like a traditional wedding. Why was I putting that pressure on myself?
why? Yeah.
The pandemic made me really stop, take a breath, and be like, girl, chill. Like,
Mhm,
like, and
mhm.
and I also feel like this is the first time like where I've actually enjoyed myself, my time, like my singleness, because
Yeah.
before now it was like, no, you have to be with someone, like you have to be in love to be complete. And now I'm like, I love myself and I am complete. I don't, there's
That
no,
is so beautiful.
this whole other half,
No,
like,
yeah, and two, it's all about energy. You putting like that into yourself, oh my God, it's gonna give you what you want and attract the exact right partner and person in your life. And I think two women need to understand. I had the idea, oh, like when you find the person, da da da, and I'm in my first relationship, first boyfriend, I thought, oh, then you're complete and all this stuff. Oh, no, 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 no. When you then get together, the work happens. That is when the work starts. So taking that time to find your joy and your black joy and what is going to light you up. That is just so beautiful. And also, you guys, you can't be afraid to break generational curses. We
yeah,
ha-
you can't
you
be
can't
like,
be afraid.
it's hard to have it like be on your back, but at the same time, it's like if you don't break it, like then you're gonna put it on what your kid's back or this other person's like you just gotta, it is not to say that it's not hard, but
No, and I it is not it's not easy. It is so hard. It's devastating. Luckily I'm like I have older parents too and I still have aunties and some uncles, but talking to them and hearing their stories, it's like, oh, I have nothing but to do but break the generational curse. Cause like
exactly.
those things just weren't working. And just even like my mom said a story, like the men in our family had in the black community, it was cool. You had your wife, but you had a girlfriend. So my great grandma, her husband married 50 years, but he had a girlfriend on the side. And then on my dad's side, the same thing. But that's not okay. And you have to be willing to break that curse. And then my mom's parents, my grandparents, they were able to have a beautiful, happy marriage, 55 years, no infidelity. But you have to be willing to break those curses. And I think really ask yourself, well, I want a better life and I want to try to just do better so we can all be better. Like
Exactly. It's
it's
like
a full circle.
it's like if I need to do it so that it will be normal, you know? And like I learned not too long ago, maybe like last February, I learned
Mhm.
that my great grandfather was born a slave. And I was like, wait, hold up. And then I'm
Oh my
thinking about
god.
like I went to like I went to college, like and like my dad went to college. It's like it's like and it's just like I'm a like third generation like freed person. Like what does it even like, that sounds crazy, number one. And number two, it's like I'm like, look at the cycle that he broke. Everything else
Mhm.
I do now is like icing on the cake.
I
Okay? Like it's
see.
crazy. It blows my mind. You
Mhm.
know, and it's like and you like you have to put that work into yourself so that when you get into a relationship, whether it's a friendship or romantic, that you already know the work required.
Oh my God. Say it for the people in the back because it's all relationships. Wow. Did I like have seen and continue to see when you work on yourself, you might not even lose friends, quote unquote, but it's an energy shift and a spiritual
Yeah.
shift and a growth, and your relationships change and evolve as all do. And hopefully the other parties are willing to evolve and grow with you. But when you wake up and you really commit and find yourself and your voice and your authenticity, there's nothing else stopping you. And so then that energy just kind of builds. And then the people who love you have always loved you day one. They're just so happy that, you found yourself and your light and your brightness.
You know, and like one I think the most important thing I learned from the pandemic is that like I don't want unconditional love. I want love with condition. I want love with boundaries because I have
Mm,
boundaries for myself. I can't let other people be boundless. So I'm like
can't.
that I was like that was the lesson. I was like this is what I had to learn because I was like people in my last relationship, people would
Hmm.
say like, you would do anything for him. You would lay down your coat and let him walk over it. And I was like, yeah, no. I was like, I never want that. Like, I don't want to feel like
No.
I have to give all of myself
Yeah.
for to be only one person in the relationship.
Of
Like that,
course.
it shouldn't
It
work
shouldn't
like
be
that.
like that. And
You know?
boundaries are so important. Boundaries are crucial for everyday life. And two, it's like when I was able to create boundaries with myself, like really, then I didn't feel because it's as women, we're taught blah, blah, blah. It is kind of like telling someone what you want, or this is what you cannot do. This is da, 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 your boundaries. But
Yeah.
when I was able to set them with myself, it was just so much easier. Even tell my partner, hey, like you can't leave dishes in the sink after I clean the kitchen. Like it was, or just simple, just any, it was so easy telling my mom, "Mommy, don't send me news clips like during, the height of no, I don't send me any news clips. I'm very sensitive." Like it was just easy to set those boundaries because I set them within myself and like what I was not gonna tolerate and tolerate.
Exactly. Once you set them with yourself, doing it with other people becomes that much easier because you're already comfortable with it.
You're so comfortable.
When you're uncomfortable with those boundaries with yourself, it's like it doesn't like anybody could take advantage. And like even you'll take advantage of yourself because you'll know something is wrong. You'll know or it doesn't feel right, but you'll just let it
Hmm.
happen because you don't have that boundary with yourself.
That boundary, of course. And two, it's not, we're all human. And I feel like the lesson of life is to keep learning. So when you do break those boundaries or that kind of self-abandon, I just can always take a step back, maybe cry, maybe journal about it, but just go back and all right, well, this time I can't break this code with myself or whatever because it leaves me feeling like that. And yeah, that sort of emptiness and that self, I don't want to like forget myself. I don't want to compromise on the things that like are important to me and my well-being. Like it's no, I know what I deserve. And two, it's really about mental health. Like to
Yes.
have a great mental health every day to life, boundaries are just really important.
And that's one of the things I admire about you because you set up your life to fit your mental health. Like I love that you're like you're always posting like I like you went for a run. You're like get your body moving because
Mhm.
that's something that like everyone needs to do because it's so easy, especially now. to be like to be stuck in the Netflix binge and like kind of just stay there, you know?
Mhm.
And just like, not that I think everyone is going to do a 5 mile run like you,
Okay.
right?
Only 4, but
Well,
okay.
of course. But I do think that when people see you post that, because I know for me, I'm like, okay, I know I need to go outside, I need to take a walk, even if it's 30 minutes. I need to go get up and do something.
Yeah.
I need to work out, you know? So it's like,
Oh,
it's like that in that little bit of encouragement. And I love that you made it for yourself. Like you made it work for yourself. Like you know the things you like, and you're like,
thank you.
I'm gonna go do
Mhm.
this run. I'm gonna go do some yoga,
And
some
it
stretch.
was the pandemic. It was the pandemic, and, like, for mental health, like, I have to move my body, and there was only so many limitations, but I will say, like, we've been in New York, we've had a huge snowstorm. My track is melted, and, like, I probably haven't moved my body in, like, 7 days, but fuck it, I got a city bike, and just even going on a bike ride 20 minutes coming home, like, just
Yeah,
some sort, because you guys, it's so easy. We're still in the pandemic. I'm still quarantined. I'm now collecting unemployment, but self-employed, my business. But it's still, I don't want to get stuck. And I think last year the lesson I learned was, oh my God, so many emotions, like the shock of the pandemic, then kind of like at least my depression of the binge Netflix, stay in my room under the covers, the whole, and then to be a Black woman and seeing, Black lynches every day. It was just such a traumatic year. I really found solace and joy in moving my body. So thank you for saying, I never want to be like annoying. I just want to be like, hey, just like go outside, or 10 minutes to go jump rope. Just do some type of movement, because at least for me, and I'm such a Scorpio, I can, like, when I'm able to move my body, like, I can move my emotion and like process and
exactly. Like you need that movement to be like, oh wait, and like just to clear your thoughts, or like or even process them. It's like you need that. It's like
yeah,
you really, the mind and the body are connected in like very.
exactly. So you being a mother, how did that change your relationship with your body?
Oh
One.
my gosh. It was like ridiculous. So right before I got pregnant, I had a miscarriage. So then
Oh,
between those times, right, I went to do a Krav Maga class. So it was 6 weeks. It was $500 for 6 weeks.
oh
So
my
you
goodness.
got a trainer and you got to do 3 to 5 classes every week, right?
Love it.
So because I was so personable, they let me do 5 classes. So I would do three Krav Maga
Mhm.
classes and then two jujitsu classes. So I was like, I was in like the best shape. But I'm telling you, I was in the best shape. I don't think I've ever I don't think I've ever been that fit
No way.
since puberty happened. Okay, ever, ever, right?
Ever.
So then it's at the end of the program, and they're like, you like my they took before and after pictures, and my
Mhm.
body looked completely different. But they were like, but you only lost like 4 pounds, and so they were seeing like what it was. They were trying to see
Yeah.
like if it was the diet, because I really followed the diet. Like you can basically only drink water
Mhm.
and eat vegetables and certain types of meat, right? So it was no fruit, so there was like no sugar,
Oh
right?
my
And it was like, and I
gosh.
was drinking the protein. I did everything. So then they were like, okay, like, and I was biking everywhere. So
Oh my
I
God,
was really
amazing.
getting it in, right? So they were like, maybe it's your muscle. So they did all these different things, right? Then I find out a couple months, like maybe no, a month after I finished that program, I found
Uh-huh.
out that I was pregnant, and then I called them and told them, and they were like, "Oh,
Oh, that makes
it makes
sense.
sense," you know. So like I was like, so then I was like, I went through a mourning period because I was like, I'm
Mm.
gonna get fat, and I just lost all this weight. I was like, what is going on? But and then like and then even when I was pregnant, I was like trying not to gain a lot of weight because
Mhm.
if you gain too much weight, they make you go on a diet.
Yeah, and you can
Like, yeah, and I was like, no, 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 no. I'm not
No.
gonna be pregnant with cravings on a diet. So then, and then I was staying pretty small, and then like month 8, my stomach just like blew up, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, I'm so fat, I could barely move.
Oh
Like,
my God.
and then I was still in school, so I'm trying to, and then all the professors are like, I would be like, oh, and they'd be like, they're like, if you if you feel anything, like you have to go, please. There's no water breaking in my class, but like I could barely fit into the desk. They had to get a
Oh my
special desk for
God.
me that was bigger because I was like, or I had to sit like
So
sideways. It was like it was ridiculous, like and I had to walk up steps for work. I was just like,
Mm,
I was like big and pitiful. Okay,
yeah.
so I was like, oh my god, like a old lady. And then after I had Maverick, like everyone kept telling me like, oh, you look so good, you're snapping back. And I was like, I don't see it. I
I
don't know.
yeah.
Like, and I really had a hard time with my body. And it wasn't
Mhm.
until maybe like, because yeah, even this past summer in 2020, I was having a really hard time. I was like, I went on this like super workout binge. So I was working
Mhm.
out every day, twice a day, overworking my body, and I was not
Mhm.
eating right. Like I was
And that's just not
barely, I was eating enough, like
of
barely,
course, yeah,
because
but
I
not
was,
enough. Mhm.
yeah, because I was
Yeah.
losing all this weight. But like it wasn't until like maybe like right before my birthday that I
Mhm.
was like, like I started eating better, and I found a workout program to do online that it was like it's 3 times a week, and
Yeah.
it was just like,
It's able to keep you accountable.
yeah, and then I got an
Mhm.
accountability partner, so that was like, okay,
Amazing.
now I'm really doing it. So, and then it was like I felt good about myself, and I was like, and I just found new snacks instead of like cookies and
Yeah.
chips.
New snack, the goal. And see, I admire you. You said I on your Instagram following you were very honest about your journey and even like with your selfies and stuff, just telling the story. And like as your friends, we all knew, like, you were just you might have still been breastfeeding or maybe you stopped, but like you were just on the journey of finding that like sexy side of Janice, but just finding you again. And definitely seeing the journey. It's just been so beautiful because like now on the other side, sis is out here in her Fenty and her red, and just like there's just a more lively, confident Janice, like in yourself, like you as your being.
I
It's
really
and it's so
feel
good to see.
I can feel like the big difference. Like I just feel like this is the first time I think maybe since I was a kid and I didn't think about these things that I
Mhm,
felt like I even though I don't like everything that's going on like with my life and like with my body, I'm
mhm,
still happy with my body. I still love my body. I'm still happy in general, you know? I
mhm.
had to say with breastfeeding too, that made me feel I was like, oh my, like it was like my body wasn't mine. But then it was like, wait, no, I was like, girl,
Yes.
we could do both. We
Oh
could
my
do
god, we
both.
can have a whole episode on breastfeeding. I just I wanna hear all the things, but I love that is so incredible, like, just finding that I agree with you. It wasn't I've never felt this good since I was like 5 or 7, kinda like just in my body, topless, like being a kid playing around in the bed. Like, I hadn't felt this good, and it's a lot of like inner child healing because you're it's like a homecoming. You're coming back to like that young Janice, that young Brianna who you knew, but just you got so disconnected and you had a baby or like you went through life, our 20s, high school, school, and coming back home to that like you of just oh my god, yeah, the pandemic, I'm like I'm so thankful for my body. I'm just thankful it can move, my brain can function, it can tell me to turn on the shower, I can set a I'm so thankful, like just that gratitude. And then too, like I have a lot of love for like myself that didn't like my body then, or even like I didn't like my body this time last year before the pandemic. I agree with you, being obsessive, going to bar class 7 days a week, then running a mile, but then eating tostadas only. Like, what the fuck? Like, not.
Wasn't it was like not making good choices. And I even think back to like when we were at Starbucks. I can like like vividly remember Cassie telling us like, sometimes you guys dress really nice and sometimes y'all dress like bums. And it's like that's because like the way we felt about ourselves was so up and down.
Up and
And now
down.
it's like you can't stop me.
You.
Like that's it. Right? Like I like to
Mhm.
say, like, you're tall, so you are Brie the Stallion. I'm 5'3", so I'm okay, because we gotta be realistic.
There you
I don't
go.
have height, but like, you feel it. It's like it's all
Mhm.
about the inner confidence,
The
and
inner
when
confidence.
it's all encompassing. It's like it's so great because even the things you dislike don't stop you from the love that you
Of
have.
course. And what we were saying about duality, like it all lives within every one of us. And two, it's like even that now, like if I am in like sweats or baggy shit, it's just like that's what I want to wear. And it also like I feel hot wearing anything, even if I'm going to Walgreens in baggy sweat. I just feel good and comfortable like in my self. And that's why too everyone's like, "Oh, you post Instagram." It's like I'm comfortable with myself. If you have any reservations, well, ask yourself, like, you need to put that on you because I'm really comfortable with myself and my
Exactly.
body.
It's like I like my body now, so it's cool. When I wasn't so comfortable, I would probably say what you're saying. So that you got to think about that for yourself.
For yourself.
You
And
know,
isn't there a type of what kind of freedom have you found too? And just like this self-love in the last year of 2020 and the pandemic. What have you felt? Because
I
as Black women, still we still don't have justice for Breonna Taylor, but I still find I still find myself trying to find that freedom, and I still feel it, but it's still also like heartbreaking and hard sometimes, you know?
it is, and I think, you know, like especially in respect to Breonna Taylor, like I keep seeing people like claiming like 2021 or 2022, and I'm like, I don't know how comfortable I feel with that because one of her last tweets were like 2020 is going to be my year, and it tells you that shows you right, like the people who knew her describe her as a person that like actively changed their lives without her even knowing. So
Mhm.
like all those years she was here, those were her years, you know.
Yes,
And it's,
absolutely.
and it's just like I don't want to claim anything like that, but and it's like
Mhm.
even it constantly reminds me of my value in society, but that doesn't mean that I don't have to show or like
Abide by the rule. Mhm.
it's like I have my own value and what and it's like it's all about perception. Your perception of me and your value of me
Mhm.
doesn't matter. Like it's not going to it
It
doesn't change
doesn't.
what I feel and what I see. You
Absolutely.
know, like that has been a big thing for me because when like I feel like a lot of times
Mhm.
we take how other people see us and how other people value us and we make it our opinion when it's like no 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 no.
No.
I think I think the baddest bitch and if you think I'm ugly, oh that's great.
That's great.
I'm I'm the baddest bitch on my block. That's
And
it.
isn't it crazy when you, like, are so, like, grounded and so in tune with yourself? Oh, you see the projections. Oh my g and too like, as 2020 and as I got, like, towards the year ended, I was like, "I'm not carrying this shit." Like, some people, some friends, some family members, whoever, don't give me your shit to carry because I've worked through, my daddy issues, my attachments to I've done the work on myself, so I really know what's mine and what's yours or what you're trying to throw on me. Like, don't. And two, I will say, I've noticed even me, because we're all human, me projecting on others or me projecting on myself. Like, I just taking that step back, like, and not saying anything so permanent. Like, I used to be like, well, I'm just so like manic or I'm just like so like sad and stupid. I've had to change my own internal dialogue just to be like, well, no, I'm feeling upset and it's okay, but I'll just cry. And then maybe like I'll go masturbate and then like I'll talk to my therapist or call my mom and journal about it. But like I address the feeling and I try not to put anything so like harsh or constructive. I try not to put myself in a box and just move
Yeah.
through the feeling of it because I know myself and I'm not going to carry what others are going to try to put on me or label me as. No, 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 no. So that's for you, or that's something you got to go look at.
Because it's like and it's really hard now like with there being somewhat less of an outlet. It's like say like I'm like you feel sad, no I'm a sad person, like no, like
Mhm.
you're gonna feel this and then you're going to get through it, you know, like you have but you have to allow yourself to feel it.
To
And you
feel
know
it.
it's also okay, like I know like when Beyonce came out with I think it was Homecoming that she said that she lets herself feel something for 3 days, they completely feel it for 3 days and then she like makes herself get over it. I mean, but think about how intense that is because you know, I feel like a lot of people like you let yourself feel it for like an hour, but then you have to go and do something.
We're,
So you stop feeling it. But it's like, no, it's okay for you to be at work and upset. Like it's
it's
okay. And you
okay.
just tell people like, listen, I'm not feeling my best, just so you know. But and just be honest with that. Because then you can just feel it
Yeah,
and you can get through that initial emotion because
absolutely.
everything comes in waves. But
And
like,
two, there's power in vulnerability, is there not? Like when I've just told people how I felt and really just showed up as myself, it's like they're okay with it. And so then I'm like, "Oh, damn, all like that judgment and pre stuff was like kind of just all me in my head." And but no, just showing up and I love that. Yeah, sit through even sometimes if I'm like in a mood or I'm really upset, I won't even go for the bong. I'll just sit with my shit, I'll drink my water, close the blinds and just really try to process it. And it's okay. Like somewhere along the line we forgot that like women are allowed to be upset and mad and angry and like cry and be sad. Like, I don't know.
exactly. And it's just and like that's that is the upsetting part is that it's like we don't want to feel the emotions or you don't want to let people know that you're feeling the emotions. And I feel like people have told me, like, as a Scorpio, they're like, you have so many walls. You just, and I'm like, what? I think I'm being open. And I'm like, no, girl, we don't even know you.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, and I'm like, I feel like I bare my soul to you all the time, And like, I've been like somewhat seeing this guy, and my friend Elon was like, she was like, they were like, I don't know what he's doing to you, but you are like showing all of these emotions. And she was like, look, or they were like, look at your Instagram, like look at how the posts are
The
different. And I was like,
post.
oh, wait, maybe you're onto something,
I love it.
and just like, but I have to say, like, without the pandemic, I wouldn't have even been open to a relationship. I would have been like, no, 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 like I can't, like like I don't
Yeah.
deserve to be touched. I mean, like, but now I'm just like, no,
Mhm.
like I'm like, I may not have everything that I want, but I still have a lot to bring to a table to a
Yes.
person, I'm a cool person. I'm this and I'm that. I'm not like, I feel like I was very self-deprecating before, and
Mhm.
everything
Same. Oh, I can so relate to you. Same.
all the things that I want and didn't have or don't have, I put it as like, nope, that knocks me down a peg. It's not, but it's like, no, it's okay to not have everything and to have aspirations, because like I'm going to continue to grow, and I can grow with somebody, and that is okay. And and I have a lot of friends who because I thought like, oh, I can't want to, like, I can't date somebody who like
Mhm.
has their own place. And it's like, yes, I can. Like,
Yes,
hello, like that is
yeah.
like, we're just at like, I have a kid, they don't, like, we all have things that someone doesn't have, so
Absolutely.
it's not that deep. And then now I have a lot of friends who they are dating someone that they just moved in, and I was like, you see, I was like, it's not that deep. I'm like, I'm caring about this a lot more than I think other people do. It's,
Absolutely.
and I think about, like, how it's like, when you sometimes I feel like it's like when you wear lingerie and like the
Mhm.
guy doesn't even notice. And you're like, I wear something different here every single time, trying to be cute, and you don't even notice. It's that kind of thing, but like in different aspects of life. It's like,
Absolutely.
and
It's
that's also why
crazy.
I'm always in my frenzy, because I'm like, I need to feel good about myself all the time. And I have to
All the time.
looking at myself in lingerie, I'm like, the baddest. Okay,
The
you understand.
baddest. Or, like, out the shower, you just put on the panties and you're just, like, in the dude, it's just that and
Exactly.
that's how you feel good. I mean, to me, we're recording on Valentine's Day, we're both wearing red, that is how you show your self-love, like and two, that's how you learn no one's gonna know how to love you until you know how to love you.
Exactly.
Point blank period, and that even goes for, like, masturbating and exploring your genitalias and your areas down there, like, no one's gonna know what gets you off or how to love you until you really know what you like, what you don't like, just and two, putting on something good, just we're still quarantined, we're still in a global pandemic, but putting on something good does, or even putting on, I do my eyelashes at least, and I'm just like, she's good. She got a
Exactly. It just makes you feel like good. Like, you have to do things that make you feel good about yourself, because, and if you don't water your garden, it's never going to grow. Like,
I love it.
you have to
I
put it
love
into
it.
you so that you can give it to someone else.
And it's a cycle, you guys. It's really, I think 2020 taught me too. Maybe I would stop or get stuck. Oh, no, no, no. This is like a journey of my life, like
Mhm.
focusing on my mental health, setting my boundaries, being a whole being, showing myself love, taking care of myself, taking care of my family and others. That's life. And that's too where I've like, oh, like life is beautiful. Yeah, it's scary and so unknown. And it's scary and unknown, but like there's so much beautiful and joy in the everyday like life. There's just so much, and really practicing gratitude, just like being
Yes.
grateful for like the little things, for a good home cooked meal, for like a walk in New York in the sky. Just gratitude has been helpful.
And like back to what you said, like, gratitude for my body is never something I ever had. Like, I was never, like, it started with pregnancy, and I was like, oh, I can hold this baby this time. That was the first thing. Then it was like, oh, I can feed Maverick with my body. Then it was like, my body,
Mhm.
like, not to sound like cliche, but like, my body is my temple. And it's like, and I like, it's like, oh,
Ye
like, I love my body. And I'm like, just look at what it is. So like, now when I get out the shower, I make it a point to look at myself, because before, I swear, I would like avoid the mirror like the plague. I would barely even look at myself to see if I didn't have like crumbs on my face, because I did not like looking in the mirror. And now I'm like,
Mhm.
no, like, I have to look at
Yeah.
myself. I have to appreciate myself, like,
Mhm.
and I was
And
it's
you feel so strong, don't you? I agree. There were certain points where, like, if I do a back turn, I don't want to see my ass. I don't want to see that corner of cellulite. I'd avoid it. Or the voice would be in my head would be like, no, go put on the big sweatshirt because your man doesn't want to see your fat ass. Like, da, da, da. Like that would still come up last year. And I really had to be like, that message is so untrue. Like, I love me and I know that he loves me regardless. But like, that voice is so like, my cellulite is okay. And women have cellulite. Like, I really had to just
yeah,
self-correct that voice, and it's really powerful. It's powerful when you're able to look at yourself naked in the mirror and say your affirmations or just be in the mirror with yourself. Like I think it was some entrepreneur, but when they wake up, they just look at themselves in the mirror. And I was like, damn, like to wake up, the first thing that you do, yes, thank God, thank Allah, another day, but check in with you. Look at you. I'm like, good morning. Like, how are you? How do you sleep? It's what's the just check in and be like, I love you. Thank you. And let's try to like have a good day. There's something really
it's
ra-
something powerful, but like that is like the power of manifestation and like prayer, because no matter who you believe in, whether it's God or you're spiritual or you believe in nothing, to think that not giving yourself gratitude isn't some
oh.
like isn't some type of like energy exchange, and that and like it doesn't like it's not important, it's like ridiculous,
It's
you know.
ridiculous. And it's all, oh my God, it's all you guys, science, not technology, but physics. It's physics. And yeah, regardless of religion, it's literally how you manifest and how you just live an abundant life. I feel like we are all human beings. We all have access to this. We really do. And it starts with self. It really, really starts
But,
with self.
you know,
Um, I
and
love this. I love talking to you. I wanted to wrap it up a little bit. What did, your mother teach you about your body, and what do you in turn plan to teach Maverick about her body?
well, I don't really know what my mom taught me. I feel like it was a topic that wasn't really discussed.
Mhm.
It was like, yeah, I don't really like like all of these like important conversations that my mom thrust on my sister to have with me. So like before I went to college, my sister showed me how to put on a condom. My sister talked to me about birth control.
Mhm.
So it wasn't really like with my mom. Like watching her have confidence walk around the house, that was
Mhm.
one thing I learned, because like no matter what she felt about her body, she was like, I'm
Oh, I love
and
that.
I'm very Virgo, I'm perfect. So like that's one thing.
Oh my Janice, how are we both Scorpios and both of our mothers are Virgos? I'm
That's
screaming.
that's the connection.
That is crazy. I love that. That's beautiful. And two, just to as Black women, seeing that because we didn't have a lot of examples anywhere. So seeing that in the household, yes, was so it was just electrifying. Maybe I didn't know then, but really seeing
But
that
it does stick
now,
with you. It does
it
stick with you.
absolutely. What do you plan to teach your beautiful daughter?
Well, I think I think one of the most important things I'm going to teach her is that her body is hers. So like if you don't want someone touching it, whether it's family or friends, like you can say no, and if people don't like that, that's your boundary, and that's that. Like point blank,
Period. Period.
that's it, and then in that is like then you appreciate your body, because it's like this, you set the boundaries for your body, and you appreciate it, like you appreciate it through those boundaries, and
Hmm.
it's like and like to talk to yourself how you would talk to your best friend, like you are your best friend. So you
Yes.
wouldn't like, even if you thought your best friend had an ugly shirt, you wouldn't like be like, that shit is fucked up. You'd be like,
You
it's your
wouldn't.
best shirt. You should try this more flattering shirt. You would
Yes.
say it in a nice way. It's okay to be critical of yourself, because that's part of how you grow, but you don't
Mhm.
have to be mean and critical.
Mean, yeah, and I never got that thing. They're like, "Say it like your best friend," until it was last year, and all my friends, especially my single girlfriends, it was tough. It was brutal being in New York. And so then I realized, I'm like, "Well, I wouldn't talk down to, like, my girlfriends who were struggling and who were sad or in despair." So I'm like, "Bitch, why are you talking to yourself?" I really got that. I was like, "Whoa." Like, I'm like, "Talk to yourself how you would talk to your sissy, your bestie, or your nana." Would you tell your nana this
Exactly. Pre in high school, right? Because in high school I was the same height, but I went up to like 180 pounds, so I was like
Mhm.
so big. right? And my weight would fluctuate. I would describe myself as a baby whale. I was like, that was the most
Mhm.
detrimental thing I could have done. If I would have just been like, you know what, like I'm fat and I'm cute, it would have been completely my insecurities would have
Yep.
been completely different. Maybe my insecurities
Mhm.
would have been like, I need to be better at trig. But no,
But
I was
no.
focused on my body and just thinking, telling myself I was ugly.
Yeah, I know.
No one else made fun of my weight but me.
Mm.
Like that's the thing.
Mm-mm.
That's why I'm a teacher. Like, don't talk down to yourself, because like that's the energy you put out.
Yeah,
You
and
need
two, oh, the power of words. People talk about the power of words, and really on some like Maya Angelou, be careful what you say, especially what you say to yourself. And it
Mhm.
wasn't until even my girlfriends had to correct me. I even like last year to be like, "Oh, messed up. Oh, I'm just so stupid, or I'm so blonde." No, 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 no. Like my words have power. I've seen it in my life, so I'm so careful how I talk to myself. It's energy.
It
It's
is.
energy. If you could tell, your inner child one thing, what would you tell yourself? Your young Jenice self, junior high, maybe. What would you tell yourself? Just one thing, a little love note or anything.
I think I would tell myself that, like, you are okay. Like, no, I would say you are more than enough, because
Oh,
that was something that I really struggled with up until now. Like,
mm-hmm.
pandemic had made me change my vocabulary with myself, but I've always been kind of down and like overcritical of myself.
Uh-huh.
So like, I
More
was
than
like, oh,
enough.
I'm okay. Like people think I'm annoying. I gotta work on, maybe I shouldn't talk so much. But like no, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm more than enough. And like if I was annoying, somebody would have told me by now. Like
Period.
like you know, but like
Yes.
it's like all I think that would be something, because I never saw myself as important until recently.
Mhm. Oh
And
my
it's just
God. And it's just so beautiful. And as a friend, I want to say it's been so beautiful to see your journey. It really has been. And we relate on so many, so many, so many different levels. And I love that. Even I don't think I've ever felt that, but I feel that I am more than enough. Even how as I show up flawed or cracked or on a bad, bipolar, I am still more than enough. And I think like we said, just sitting with your emotions and kind of processing and being there and just I found too a lot of like self-forgiveness. Talk about like inner child healing.
yeah,
Just same, forgiving myself. Well, let me forgive myself for when, yeah, thought I was like dumb and big and black and none of the white boys liked me growing up. Like I thought, actually, no, let me forgive myself for putting that narrative on me. That's
yeah,
not my narrative. It wasn't then. And I really had to forgive myself for putting that on me because it really like clouded and I think fucked up my judgment of myself and my self-esteem, my self-worth. And it made those, let's say 12 to 17, it made those years a little difficult. So I just think practice self-forgiveness too. It's
yeah.
powerful.
And then and like especially like growing up in like white spaces, like obviously like you're never gonna fit in, because
No.
like but like you try so hard, and then you're like and it never clicked for me, like like when I was in school, it never clicked, like, girl, you're black. Like
You're right.
you're not gonna fit. Like you're not gonna fit. Stop trying to make this fit. It's not happening.
It's
Like
not. It's not. And even I'm literally dying because like probably family members and stuff. And I never took on that quote unquote white identity, but I got to I'm like, I am not white. I was like, I'm not white. And thank God I'm not white. Thank
you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're like, okay, like
God. Okay.
let's get it.
Literally.
When you get yourself
Literally.
together and you're like, okay, you don't know how, like, what was I trying to fit in? Like, okay, cool. Like, yes, that's like the Jonas Brothers, not giving that up, but like,
Not.
I'm not, like, I just, certain things I'm just not gonna do.
Yeah. And
I'm not
we both love film, cinema, documentary. I will recommend OJ Simpson's documentary Made in America. And I empathize with it because you see just a black man growing up in white America, like and how that impacts like on a systemic level, on like a classism level, like and I could just empathize as someone who grew up in a just white space.
Mhm.
And it's dark when you are in that kind of realm and you can't identify like with yourself, your culture. it's dangerous and it's detrimental. But definitely watch that documentary. It's a good parallel of white culture and being black and not identifying with yourself and quote unquote thinking you are white. No, 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 no.
Like, you know,
No. And
we have to get together real quick. Like, okay, you know,
okay, yeah.
like, yeah.
And to thank the universe. I think, I don't know about you, but I definitely believe in like lifetimes and different things. I'm really grateful in this lifetime to be here as a black woman. Oh, my clit just tingled. I'm grateful. I'm so grateful and happy and blessed to be in this lifetime. Like what a time to be alive. Non
It really is like for real, what a time because like I don't think like even though like the style and some of the things that were happening, like did I want to be a black woman in the 90s or the 80s or the 70s? It seems kind of cool, but not cool enough. This is the
no,
time when the things are like definitely changing. This is the time. This
this
is the
is the
time. Okay.
time. And
And
I
then
re-
and then like we're the ones who were like having kids, or even if you're not having kids, like you're the one who's gonna be like somebody's auntie, and you have Kamala Harris. It might not be the perfect situation, but you come on,
come
we're we have a
on.
great like the fact that we are now loving ourselves, and it's not just like a style. It's like black women, we are now like truly, truly loving ourselves, and you can
Truly
see it. You see it everywhere. And then we have
everywhere.
Kamala. So we got this self love, we got this representation, and now and then you're gonna actually be able to show it to the kids.
Like
Best
it's
time to be alive.
here. And you
Best
guys, I
time to be
will the best time, and I will say like real shit, like after a run or after just I'm good with endorphins and a little buzz, I feel the love of my ancestors. And I have pictures of my grandparents and people around in our apartment. And I feel like they're so happy for me too. They're like, damn, like what a time to be alive. We got you.
alive.
Let's break the cycles. Let's show up for ourselves and let's just be, because I think our ancestors, there was a lot of suffering, a lot of pain. So there's nothing for me to do but black joy and just to be happy. Like what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive.
Mhm.
Jenice, where can everyone follow you? You do
Oh,
have, wait, tell them about your baby Maverick has an account. Where can everyone
oh
follow
yes.
you?
Oh, my daughter is actually the cutest. I'm
The
not.
cute,
Some people, all children are beautiful, but mine is actually like particularly beautiful. I just gotta
the
say.
most beautiful baby on IG. Ugh.
And her handle. Let me make sure I just
Uh-huh.
get it right.
You guys, the most beautiful baby. She's usually playing in the backyard with her cousins.
and and now she's starting to talk. So look out for those videos. She has said, "Oh fuck," that's been "Oh fuck,"
Oh my
and no, those are like her main things right now. That's
God,
literally all she's saying.
we love. And as Janice, as a mother, I really admire. She has her baby in the pool. She has her baby in the pool. Janice breaks stigma. Listen, Black people love pools. We love to swim, and we love animals. And I love that you have, especially as a not you're a native New Yorker, but moving here, everyone was like, "You swim?" Da, da, da." I'm like, "Yeah, that's so normal. Like we're
Yeah.
normalizing it." And I love that you have your baby doing those things.
We are breaking the cycle. Like we don't have to be afraid of dogs. We can actually get to know dogs. We don't have to be afraid to swim. Like you can like as a parent, I think before you put if you don't know how to swim, maybe don't put your kids in the pool. But that's your choice. I would suggest I took swimming lessons as a kid, and
Same.
I even took more before I put Maverick in the pool.
Wow, beautiful,
Just so I would
Janice.
feel more comfortable because
Mhm.
I know it can be very scary. And I also suggest all the life vest, okay, with the puddle jumpers, everything, because yeah,
Yes.
no, we just need all the protection.
Oh my
And even
gosh.
at her birthday party, we had a lifeguard because yeah.
I
But
love it. I love it. Where can we follow Maverick?
her handle is Little Miss Maverick with an underscore. Um, and her name Maverick is spelled Maverick.
Love it. And where can we
And
all
it's
find you?
MISS, Little Miss
And
Maverick.
I mean, Janice is on private, but if where can we find you? Where can we see your thirst traps? Her IG is so it's kind of like
No,
an
I
art.
really, I might make it public. I might make it public. So you might just be able to catch me.
You might see.
My handle is Naughty Flower, NAUGHTYFLOWER. Naughty
Love
Flower.
it, love it. And you guys, I'll definitely add everything in the show notes. Janice, I love you. This was such a great conversation.
That was really fun.
Um, I
I
love
will
that
be
we're
back
both
if you're invited.
No, I know, I really think, yeah, y'all, I'm just like looking, I don't want the Zoom to shut off on me because it's almost past an hour. But yeah, no, I definitely want to have you back. You're just very insightful and you're so self-aware. I love having girlfriends and a community of friends who are self-aware and able to adapt because we're all human. I think as friends we all go through such different chapters and layers, but always staying true to yourself and then making room for others and love. I really admire that about you and I love you.
Thank you. I love you too. Thank you so much for
You're
that.
so welcome.
Happy Valentine's Day. You are
Happy Valentine's
very
Day.
inspiring, and I can't wait for the rest of
We
your.
going, we going, we up, we up, we up. Bye you guys. Thank you so much. Okay. Wait. End meeting for all. Leave meeting. Oh, it's
I
still recording. Let me hit
nobody
stop
but
recording.